Hello, I just want to share with you some tips for how to use my feedback to help you write better papers. When you get my feedback, you'll notice three things. It says to look at the online graded rubric, to open up the document with my comments. That's the Word document where I added my comments and saved that for you. And then there's also a voice recording where I talk you through your essay. So if you'll look and listen to all of that and then use that as you're working on your papers going forward, your new papers will get better and better because you'll know what your strengths are and you'll continue to work on those strengths, and you'll know what your weaknesses are and you'll know what to focus on when you're revising and editing to correct your future papers. So we tend to make the same mistakes over and over, unfortunately, but if we're taking the time to reflect and figure out what we are doing well and not so well, we can learn from those mistakes and we can learn from our strengths, and we'll write better papers going forward if we take that time. And so that means it'll take less time to revise and edit our papers. So really it's a great benefit all around. So you're going to go into My Grades and find your paper, and you'll open that to get the links to all of that feedback I was talking about. You can open up the rubric from there as well. You'll see across the top you have A through F, and then down the side you have the different categories. So this is kind of a visual representation. You can also look at the numbers to see what the breakdown is. So if you did really well on your content, you might be in the A column. If you did poorly on the style and clarity, you might see this column down here is highlighted, and all of that together adds up to give you your grade. And then what you want to do as far as the actual paper, the Word document, that'll look like this, is you want to match up the yellow highlighting to things in the style and clarity and grammar sections so that you can learn how to correct your paper. So for instance, we're just going to go through a few of these things here in this paper. If you see a letter highlighted like this, probably needs to be capitalized, or vice versa. If it's capitalized, might need to lowercase it. So we have capitalization here under grammar. You'll notice the word very is highlighted multiple times. That's because it's an overused word, as you can see. And under number 2, it says not to use overused words like very and a lot, or even interesting and nice and good. There's much more descriptive words you can use, and you can find those by going to synonyms and thesaurus and looking through the list, and you can even click as you go through the list until you find the specific word that you want for your paper. Also, you want to pay attention to pronouns. We have their in this paper. That's plural. It's referring back to the creator of the Padlet board, whose name was here, which is one person. So you want to make sure you use a singular pronoun, he or she, depending on the gender. This is also a pronoun. It needs to have a noun after it to clarify what you're talking about. And that's also listed on here. If you'll just use the rubric, it'll help you out as a checklist. Here's the word this. And so just ask yourself, this what? Is it this element would not be pleasing, this color would not be pleasing, whatever it is you're talking about, you have to put that in there. We have a comma missing here, so when you see parts of words highlighted like this, probably some punctuation that needs to go there. We have a complete sentence, and then onto that we've tacked this phrase, so we've got this tagged description here, and when we do that we want to put a comma to add on the tag description. So oftentimes that'll start with a verb like this with an ing ending. And you'll see here too, I might make comments in the margins. I said maybe a different word would have worked better there. Again, we're repeating some errors here. We have very several times. We have some past tense verbs and some plural pronouns that need to be singular because of their antecedent, some capitalization. In this case, we have a semicolon highlighted. Semicolons are the same as periods. They can replace them. And so we want to make sure there's a sentence on both sides if we're going to use them. Making sure they did not miss an ounce of information is not a complete thought. So instead of a semicolon, we should have used a comma there. Down here, you'll see the title is completely highlighted. So that's going to be font formatting. And just a note here, you've got commas listed on here and punctuation like semicolons, but the font formatting means that this article was from our textbook. So our textbook's an anthology that should be italicized, but everything in the textbook, those titles should have quotation marks around them instead. Also, further on in this paragraph, similar errors. A new one here is the word I. No first person. We want to not use first or second person. So no I, me, my, we, our, us, no you or your, because we're trying to keep our papers formal. So we would need to change that. And you might have a word usage issue, like here with example. Word usage is in the grammar section, usage, proper word choice. So this is not a spelling error. However, it should either be plural, real life examples to support, or have the word a in front of it, a real life example to support. So it's just the way the word's being used here that needs to be corrected. So hopefully that helps you out to understand some things about the rubric and how to use that with your highlighting in your paper, as well as, like I said, don't forget to listen to the voice recording as well. And as always, if you have any questions or concerns, email me, text me. I will be happy to help you. Thank you.